with all that negativity from the Dumpster Fire Award, we now have the most coveted of the awards, Game of the Year. Many people don't really know what the criteria is for Game of the Year. Some people think it's sales. Some people think it's the subjective best game, which is hard to have an award for, considering that many games can be best for many reasons. However, this is the award that really can be summarized as it's just a game that we like.
The most.
Um,
The most.
of the candidates, you will find no Fortnites, nothing on the Switch because none of us own a Switch. And I was going to say no Red Dead Redemption 2, but unfortunately that is actually on the list. Among the nominees for Game of the Year are Monster Prom, Monster Hunter World, Battletech, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Hitman 2. So I guess I'll start with Monster Prom. Monster Prom, first off, it's a fucking indie game. So like just round of applause for it getting this far, like on its own. Like I said before, you can play it two ways. Either play it as a run-of-the-mill visual novel or play it as a competitive visual novel with your friends. It's got an amazing amount of polish to it. The sprites look amazing. There's a shit ton of secret endings. Each character has like three endings or something like that. And then despite everything, you can still fail on asking them out to prom. It's got a good amount of post-launch support with two free DLC that have come out, and you can date an eldritch horror. So Game of the Year material.
The thing that broke the podcast.
Woo!
What broke the podcast?
It broke the podcast recording that time when you said Eldritch Horror.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, I thought I broke the podcast again. Also, it has the best boy. His name is Blobbert, and an orgy ending. The final route you can unlock is the orgy route, where you fuck all the characters. So
do you know what
yeah.
route that I unlocked through this game?
What?
What?
A yaoi route.
I mean,
Because you like
can
traps,
play.
man. Come on.
Well, it's not even a trap. It just straight out. Okay.
I'm cutting this discussion.
Oh, your horses, boy.
Anyways, for the next one, with Monster Hunter World, another entry put in here by me. So I am fucking pissed because Capcom is on a fucking roll. Capcom has been pretty great so far with Street Fighter V, Monster Hunter World, and next year we get DMC 5. To quote Maximilian, I love Capcom with money.
Yes, that's one of the best quotes there.
Monster Hunter World accidentally became one of the best MMOs this year, despite not being an MMO. The base game was already fucking great, and we've had a great amount of post-launch support in the form of free DLC. The only monetization is in the form of emotes, character customization vouchers, which really I can't imagine anyone who obsessively wants to remake their character. And skins for your handler because you want her in a bikini all year round. We've had great things like festivals, raid bosses, and fuck the Final Fantasy 14 collaboration because it added one of the hardest boss fights in the game, fucking Behemoth. You can dress up as Dante. It has Dante from the Devil May Cry series. It has
Put that logo.
Aloy. Yeah, it's on top of all that, it is a great Monster Hunter game. Like legit, I'm flying off to Japan in a few days and bring my 3DS with me, and I'm legit scared to go back to the old Monster Hunter games because this game has fucking spoiled me with the quality of life stuff they've added. I also, if you're listening to this, producer Ryoji Sujimoto, I am sorry I asked you if I could not use the slinger last year at PSX. I humbly retract my negative opinions about the slinger because the slinger is fucking amazing. letting you launch flashbangs and grapple off shit. Seriously, it's a great game. Amazingly polished. Combat feels great, and the co-op is just fun. It's legit fun. Monster Hunter World, man. I hate that most people have forgotten about it by now, even though the PC version came out a few months ago. To I guess okay, we're going for 1 power hour here. The next one is BattleTech. BattleTech is it's XCOM with giant robots. I don't know how else to say that. It's really fun and really fucking hard. And outside of that, the mission management, you have like a base management thing where you have to make enough money to keep your base running every month. You have stuff like crew members dying or getting injured, so they can't pilot for a while. Mechs in repair also have to go into repair cycles. I never beat the game. It's got a pretty epic sounding story. It's like you're helping overthrow a dude who illegally became king or something like that. Doesn't matter, but the missions are fun, if not very hard. Combat is really cool if you like tactical turn-based stuff. I mean this in the nicest way. It's a fucking nerdy game, man. You have to worry about stuff like, oh, mechs have like harder armor in the front than the back. So if you can target them in the back, you do more damage. Oh no, your guns have overheated and all that kind of stuff. And you can jump on mechs. You can Goomba stomp mechs if you're heavy enough.
Death
Oh my
from
God.
above.
So
Sacrifice your legs
Death-
for more attack power.
hell yeah. Also, when you have to chase like the little vans and shit, yeah, I just stomp them to death.
Oh.
Because I mostly use heavy mechs. Because hell yeah, I'm gonna carry guns. It's so much fun. I legit yeah, deserves its spot on this list. Next one, Dad of War.
Ah.
Guys?
War. Ooh.
What, Daniel? You want to add?
Nah. I'll take the second one. The second last one.
Alright. God of War is basically, as I mentioned previously in some of the episodes of dia.log, is a masterstroke of balancing the gameplay and the story, merging it together. It is also, as we discussed in the Best Story Award, managed to be a soft reboot and a hard sequel at the same time. It is a very incredible reinvention of a familiar character, and the way they set it up makes for a great new series of games that they can make. And of course, it is all polished to the brim. Even though, what you say, I might have mixed feelings with the over the shoulder camera view at first, but it slowly grew on me. The combat is as fun as a character action game. The puzzles are neat. Some of the physics-based stuff are cool, and the narrative thing can be either subtle or very pronounced, and some of them are tied to gameplay in very neat ways. Like the boy button. There are a few moments where you lose control of the boy, and it is signified by not having control of the square button. The square button does nothing because the boy isn't listening. That's a great mechanic. That's a great way of doing things. And also boat talks. The boat talks are one of the best things to happen in video games because it managed to fill in the time. It's something like what GTA does with the driving sequences where they talk about each other, right? But this time, it can flow very nicely in terms of, okay, you stop now, and then the conversation say, oh, we have stopped here, boy. And then they go off, and then you get back in the boat. So where were we? Something like that lah. So they basically flow the conversation very nicely. So it's a nice way of doing narrative, filling the time in. So yeah, God of War, it deserves all of the accolades it received. Next.
No. So, next one is Red Dead Redemption 2. The latest one from Rockstar Games. The one that has taken the headlines for underpaying their staff. Very big crunch time.
Genitals.
Exactly.
Not underpaid, but more of the working hours.
Yeah, the working hours.
That is
But that aside, I think Aria 2 is one of the best open world games in this generation so far. Not only because it's I think one of the most living open worlds, since there are like 600 different animals across like what 7 locations. It is one of the best single player experience that I've experienced, that I've the opportunity to play in in the 20 years of video games. Wow, really 20 years. I mean, the story, as Mick said like before, it is a slow train wreck, but it's very nice to see the slow train wreck coming into its climatic end, where I think, can we say spoilers now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go spoilers.
Yeah, very spoilers. Okay, so where climatic end, where we just shoot the snake of the Dutch Vandeling gang. So yeah, it's very. I mean, it's a fulfilling ending. It's a good start and good and in between is very good. So yeah, Aria 2 is my game of the year.
And of course, I snuck in Hitman 2 for obvious reasons. No, I am aware of the time, and I will not add 20 more minutes. Just in case. All I'm going to say is this sort of bullet points. Hitman 2 allows you to place a rake on the ground, and if someone walks on it, it will hit the head, and they will go unconscious. Like a comedy thing where you hit the rake, pop, like a practical joke from a Tom and Jerry show or something like that. A lot of the weapons have very peculiar homing properties where you can lock on, and for some crafty players manage to do curving throws of the silly briefcase, which looks janky but is still awesome. And lastly, you can dress as the Stick. You can dress as a knight in shining armor and pretend it's a Dark Souls game with a broadsword. Or if you don't want the broadsword, you can have a shovel and pretend it's a Shovel Knight game.
Nice.
And they made very clear that those are Easter eggs that you should find. Hitman 2, one of the dying breeds of this you say middle you have open worlds and linear based games. This is like the mini hubs of the Deus Exes, the Dishonoured's, those kind of games where it's more of map based. You get to know the map. The map is substantial, not open world large, but large enough to be filled with detail that you need to know every nook and cranny. And it is also one of the games that still provides you with a lot of leeway, a lot of creative opportunities to exploit the systems. Sure, there are handholdy linear sequences, the story missions, those are well done with comedic effect for some. Good. For those who are not familiar to Hitman, but for the veterans, you can do anything. You can create all the crazy shenanigans. I recently know that you can place C4 in trash cans. So if someone walks into a trash can, you can just lit it up. Boom! Die by trash can
Is
fire.
that a Fallout 76 reference?
Let's think about it that way to make us feel good. And it's also a live game that keeps on adding content. You get to kill Sean Bean and more events to come. So yeah, that's Hitman 2. Okay, so for the game of the year vote, can we spice things up a bit? Just list down the top three first. Of course, we were going to count the first one as our main vote, but I just want to see around the table what are the top three picks of you guys.
It's called preferential voting. Actually, that's an actual thing that you do.
Okay, you can do that too. I was just mention the other two games, but sure, you can do that. All right.
Okay. We'll do it your way because it saves time.
I mean, round 2 we'll do that if it goes to round 2.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, the three that I nominated, obviously. But if I had to pick one game of the year, it would be Monster Hunter World. Because I love like Monster Prom is great. Like Monster Prom is a very, very close contender because of how good, how much fun it is. But I didn't put 300 hours into Monster Prom. I put it into Monster Hunter World. Like Monster Hunter World, even when I'm not playing it, like it'll just make an announcement. They'll be like, "Oh, this new armor set is in the game," and my group chat will just light up and be like, "Okay, we're hunting this weekend."
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Also, fucking Proof of a Hunter, one of the greatest like video game soundtracks ever made, and the trailers are all just fucking amazing. But yeah, the fact that every player has their own different story of how they play because of what weapon they main. Like I've never seen that in any other game other than the Monster Hunter games. Like the closest is Dark Souls, but even then it's really just like spellcaster versus melee versus no one plays like arrows. So yeah. Monster Hunter has like 15 weapons that are all balanced to be able to kill any monster. So that's really fucking cool. And yeah, that's my number one pick. And runner-ups would be Monster Prom and Battletech.
All right. Daniel.
Alright, so my top three would be Red Dead Redemption 2 is the top one. Second, Monster Prop, and I guess third will go to God of War. I mean, because it is, well, it is no doubt that I love the game earlier too, as much as I love Nier Automata, our last year's winner. But it is an interesting experience, I guess. And for the other two, Monster Prop is it's an indie game. It's fun.
Yeah, it's right. It's really good for an indie game.
Yeah. And for third place, I guess give props to Santa Monica Studio for making a very interesting game to watch as well. Because I'm also
Yeah, it is also fun to watch because of the whole cinematic thing and that. Yeah, there's a nice side effect to that decision of one cut, one cut cinematic thing.
Yep.
Okay. Iram?
It's funny how the big irony is most of the game that in 2018 that I really want are mostly delayed to 2018 and the late December. And only in Asia region, in English region, on 2019. And you guys want me to pick from this?
I mean, you listen to us ramble for at least 15 minutes about all of these games, so at least you can make you say a good decision based on what are what should represent gamer matters choice of game of the year. What are the consensus of all of us together as one?
One.
Okay,
yeah,
go
but
first. Okay.
well, I'm gonna push my out so I can just do something else
I'm a
during the
pusher.
time.
Putting less effort more and more, but I understand we are getting there. Okay, it's the final countdown, so yeah, sure. Push.
Go for God of War, of course.
Ooh.
Oh,
Best
bold pick.
father, best father.
Mm-hmm.
Best father scene.
Yep.
You.
And your other two picks? So you pick three.
Hitman 2, because I played
Yeah.
like 15 hours on it, and I had
Wow.
a headache because of how the game moving around so fast, and the field of view taking my brain processing power, and
Oh, that's
yeah.
okay. That's an interesting take.
And the last one is definitely Monster Pro because it's fun to play with friends if you have some.
The message here is play games with your So, well, we'll
Yeah.
organize a play date later in
Play Destiny
2019.
2 with me.
No.
Anan.
Okay, my choice. Okay, in third place.
All right, here we
In
go.
third place is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh.
Why?
Interesting.
Because people already expect the level of polish from Rockstar.
Yeah, pretty much.
So from Red Dead Redemption, and then we got treated with GTA 5 level of, let's say, storyline and stuff. So we
Mhm.
can expect Red Dead Redemption 2 to be way better than RDR1. Okay, so no surprises there. And for second, I think I'll announce the first one. Yeah, the first one. So either Monster Hunter or God of War.
Hmm.
Monster Hunter.
Okay, because this series is relatively niche in the mainstream, and they
Yep.
bring it to Windows, so
Oh
it makes
yeah.
it quite mainstream. Yeah, so I'm choosing Monster Hunter World as the game of the year, the first choice.
Okay,
And second is God of War because
boy.
how do I say it?
Boy game.
Yeah,
Boy,
even though I think it deserved the Game of the Year award at the official award, I
Hmm.
think
Or at the Game
sort of
Awards.
yeah, it's like, okay. A lot of people love God of War. It's just another treat for a soft reboot of God of War in PS4. But Monster Hunter World brings a beloved franchise in a relatively niche demographic to the mainstream.
So
Also, that character creator, man.
Yeah.
So Mac,
Hmm.
tiebreaker, my dude.
Mac, Hitman, Red Dead Redemption, God of War.
Oh,
Close.
let's go to number 3. Number 3 is Red Dead Redemption 2. I wish it would be
Ooh.
higher. And also, this is not to undermine the other games over here. These all games I believe are great Game of the Year contenders. They
Yep.
are great games on their own, and they deserve any accolades of Game of the Years from any other outlets. But I'm going to say Red Dead Redemption is getting the third place is mostly due to other games being better. But hear me out. Red Dead Redemption 2, a great story if you like to spend a lot of time. I treated the game I treated the game as the next Skyrim, where I just roam around, get immersed, soak in all of the atmosphere, soak in all of the story, and then when I feel like I'm bored about it, okay, good, then go do the linear missions. Some people complain about the linear missions and the game the systemic open world is not being systemic enough, which is fair.
Mhm.
Controls are mushy, which is fair. All of them are fair complaints. Slow, that is also fair. But I love it anyway. It would have been placed higher if not number 2. Number 2 is this is going to surprise everyone. Hitman 2.
What? Not the one?
wow.
On my personal list, Hitman 2 is number 1 without contest. Because Hitman
We have more than half an hour of podcast footage to prove this.
yes. It was jokingly I was joking about this is going to be my number 1 game of the year for this year, my personal game of the year. And surprise, surprise, the joke becomes real. I really got into Hitman 2 really well. I guess it helps that after Red Dead Redemption 2, I played Hitman 2. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't have all of the systemic things that people crave, everything, right? All of them are in Hitman 2. You can do basically crazy things in Hitman 2 if you like play Hitman 2. Don't just play it once. Don't just play it the whole campaign and then 10 hours and then done. Play it again and again and again, and you can discover the depth and the craziness and why they took at least 2 years to create 5+1 new maps. A good game. But of course, number 1 will decide game of the year, and from the votes you will know what it is. Number 1 is Monster Hunter World.
Yeah. You didn't expect that coming from you.
You should if you listen to the last episode of dia.log.
Pam, padam, pam.
Plot.
Pam.
Basically the same argument as Anand did. This is a niche game. I know it by periphery, and I'm glad that it went mainstream with a console release and a PC release.
Yeah, go on.
I'm glad it got the Capcom money it deserved, and it does make a big return. It is one of the best selling Capcom games right now for good reason. and it is also
Holy shit! I was gonna say it. Before God of War, it dominated like the PS Store as well.
yeah, it's sold like quadruple. It got quadruple platinum at the PlayStation Awards, which means that it sold like 4 million copies alone in Japan and Asia. 4 million on there alone. So,
Yup.
what was the point of saying? Also, yeah, it serves as a good blueprint for any other live games that are going. For any other live games in the industry right now. Look at what Monster Hunter do. You do the same loop of going out, battling, hunting the monsters, get loot, repeat and rinse. But it still feels fresh, it still feels addictive, it feels rewarding. Hundreds of hours in. I'm speaking from observation, of course. I'm just spent like 5 hours. But still, from my short period of time playing it, I can feel, man, this is good polish. I really want to play this. And yeah, great way of doing live games. So for those Destiny 2, maybe Anthem, please take notes. This should be the poster child of any other live games out there. And that's
We
there you go, Monster Hunter World. Game of the Year 2018.
Whew, that's our awards for the thing. Monster Hunter World takes Game of the Year. Congratulations to the entire team that worked on that. That's a fucking amazing game. Please put Bracadios in the game.
Minta terus.
Please, we've given you your award. Please put my Explodey Dinosaur Boy in the game. We have the expansion coming out next year, actually. Iceborne.
Ooh.